I would like to call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Everybody please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, Amber, would you please know board members and admins present? And then we already have an agenda in front of you. Are there any changes? Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have the consent agenda with the approval of meeting minutes for the regular board meeting dated 9/15/2025, closed session dated 9/15/2005, special meeting dated 10/13/2005, committee of the whole meeting dated 10/13/2005, committee of the whole meeting closed session dated 10/13/2005, and committee of the whole closed session 2 dated 10/13/2005. Approval of the accounts payable. We have $2,163,236.76 for the month of September 2025. For the approval of the treasurer's report dated September 30th, 2025 with a balance of $4,840,156.11. And then approval of new hires, resignations, or retirements.
So we've got a few new hires for our athletics, youth athletics, which is Monica Bowden for volleyball and Jenna Munn for youth basketball. As Jeff Marasco is getting into his trying to build capacity stage, he's attempting to hire some coaches to run the practices so he can oversee them so that we can have somebody take those programs over down the road. Then we have a new custodian here at the high school who's working in the evenings, Sammy Rhodes. And then resignations, Stephanie Goodenough, one of our at-risk pairs at the middle school, Tony Hall, special ed para. She was part-time, but she's going to go drive bus over in Gull Lake. Cole Moore worked for esports. He's no longer wanting to do that. And then Susan Osterling, who we just hired at our last board meeting, it wasn't a fit for her. She was moving on. And then Edward Plague, one of our high school ELA teachers, resigned last week. And then we have Autumn also resigned in the custodial part.
I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Gillette?
Yes.
Meltzer?
Yes.
Shute?
Yes.
Davidson?
Yes.
Wilt?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Lieberstein?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have reports celebration.
Our 2025 graduate did not come. He did pick up his diploma this morning and told me he would let us know if he wanted to be recognized.
Okay.
We're very proud of that graduate. He came to us late last year and had a lot of work to do, but put his nose to the ground and did it and graduated. So very proud.
Beautiful.
Great. Okay, next up we have Galesburg City Council, Tony Tipkin.
Good evening, board. I don't have much, but in between our last meetings, I was asked by Jessica Eberstein about the property across the street from the primary being sold and being built on. It is proposed, but it's not been sold yet, from what we've been told. It's looking to be developed by Allen Edwin Homes. 47 homes and 3 duplexes total. They're trying to do. The city's kind of worried about because they want to run the streets all the way from East Michigan to Battle Creek. all the way through right there at the primary. So they're a little worried about traffic control with it being so close to the primary with those streets cutting all the way through. So there might be a traffic study done there to see how that would work. Nothing's set in stone, but they also want to do what's called a brownfield. If any of you are familiar with that, it's where essentially the city of Galesburg would not gain any property tax off that property until the development is complete. So it could be 10 years, it could be 15 years, but in that time frame, the city will only get the property tax that is currently taxed on right now as an empty lot. So any of those homes, they wouldn't collect any property tax until after the project is complete if we approve the brownfield financial stuff. It's still in the beginning stages, so nothing's been voted on. We're just still looking at it. But that would potentially bring 47 more families, so essentially about 50 new families into the Galesburg School District. There is also talk of 2 other neighborhood developments coming in, which would bring in even more potential families to the district.
Is that past what's that street? That one street?
I think it's over by Morehouse.
Thank you.
Because apparently the same guy that owns the property across from the primary also owns the fields in that area there.
Let us know if there's anything we can do to help get that going.
Anything.
We're all yours.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that's a lot of taxes they could miss out on, and they haven't denied building without that brownfield. It's just that they said they can build faster if they get that, but because then they don't have to. It's all financials, but yeah. So apparently they can build faster if they get the brownfield, and then it'll just take slower if they continue to move ahead with the project.
Well, and we have had a lot of issues in the morning and afternoon with the primary traffic.
Yeah, and I took that earlier this year. Talked about doing. The city can create an ordinance which would allow the deputies to ticket people that turn left out of the primary parking lot. Until it's in city ordinance, we cannot enforce. The police can't enforce it. You can post all the signs that the school district wants, but they can't ticket anybody for it until it's ordinance by the city. Like we just adopted the truck route. So now if semis go down Battle Creek Street like they're not supposed to, they can get ticketed. Now, because they're supposed to go 35th Street up to East Michigan and down through, because Battle Creek Street isn't developed and that's owned by the city, so we maintain that street. So the county and the state doesn't maintain that street. So semis, a lot of heavy traffic, create a lot of wear and tear on that street also.
But if the roads did go all the way through, it probably would create issues since we already have issues.
For sure. Yeah. So I think the dead end that's already there, where the old school was, I don't think they're talking about putting that one through, but it might be, because it might be that one and then the other 2 that meet all the way across is what it sounds like, is what they're proposing right now. If I had a map, I could better see it, but. So that's what I know about those. I did talk to Jessica at one of the football games about it, but I figured I'd inform all of you about it as well. So if I hear any more, I will let you guys know at the next meetings.
Thank you, Tony.
Yep.
Okay, next up we have superintendent update.
So I changed up the way that we talk about strategic plan year 3 because we're kind of wrapping up some of the goals from that strategic plan. So I just wanted to keep touching base on it, but might not have everything for each category. So we got about 8 more months till we complete this strategic plan and get the next one going. We did look at pricing for strategic plan committee or somebody to run it. I'm still looking to see if we can get a consultant to do it, just somebody on the side. So stay tuned to that. We've had ECJV in our middle school classrooms this past week. Last week, as it's Monday today. So we've got that they were working on different career paths that are at ECJV, and then what it takes to, like, what skill set you need, what path you need to take, what classes you need to take, make it become more relevant, and so that students understand, okay, if I'm going to go on this career route, like, what does it actually take? And then we've also sent our problem-based learning groups. We've done 3 different cohorts of teachers to go to that, and we've got that continued learning in district happening even next week. So a lot of focus to our strategic plan still happening. Regarding our budget, we had, we're going to do a little budget update or whatnot, but one of the things that we're going to need to take some action on in the next couple months once we see this money is 27L money is going to be allocated towards teacher compensation. And so we need to decide how we're going to spend that, but that is in the school aid. It's 27L. When you hear me talk about that in the future, it's defined to educators, and that's defined in the school aid package of who those people are. But my thoughts right now are to pay everyone if we do a off-schedule payment using those funds. So insurance rates, we're looking at insurance right now. We're seeing that it's gone up a ton. I mean, if somebody was paying $0 this past year, they're going to pay upwards of $300. If somebody was on a $300 to $400 package, they're going to be paying $700. So it's significant. It's going to be definitely bruising us come January, which it is everybody, right? But we're currently looking at whether the teachers are going to go with MESA or SETSEG, and then admin team and some other support staff were using SETSEG, so we're looking to see if we're still going to maintain that. Really looking at the ancillary packages to determine and make a decision in the next 2 weeks. So just know those rates are going up tremendously. Academics, we have put together a district data team. We started that team back in May before summer. It consists of our principals and then our instructional coaches and some reading specialists. We are looking at data from the district lens for the first time in a while, in a structured, systematic way. So we just took our first fall benchmarks, and so we've got all that data from Acadience, which is reading, we've got it from NWA, which is reading and math, we've got it from Delta, which is math, and we're saying, okay, as a district, how are we doing? Which we're seeing some glows, which I'll present those things to you guys at another time when I can get all that fall data together. But we're seeing some big gains, but then we're also seeing some areas that we've got to hone in on so that we can really try to move that proficiency needle as needed. So one of the big takeaways that our district data team is looking at is to set some goals with staff. Where are we at this data set? And then what is our goal for the winter? What's our goal for the spring? And then we can obviously use our statewide a year later is when that data comes out. So looking to see how we did and moving those things along. We are also looking at testing expectations. We really haven't had any expectations as a district of how do we do testing. Having the kids take some ownership that this is my score, and this is what this means, and this is how I can take ownership. So that is a goal for us this year. For our bond, we've got 2 weeks starting tomorrow until our bond is going to be on the ballot November 4th. So we've got some teams that are going to be going around town just to help remind community members to vote, get out there and vote. I've got a couple of fun things with RAMI that we're going to do, so stay tuned for that. Transportation, looking into different trainings available for the bus driving team regarding de-escalation, relationship building, and then behavior training. You'd think that the bus drivers would be able to get on there and just drive the kids around, but that's not the way it works. So we really need to support them and getting them some of that training. Facilities, we need to cut back the trees at the middle school. It's about $15,000. I've kind of put a pause on that as of right now. That's a big chunk of money, depending on what kind of happens with the bond. If we need to put that in the roof versus making sure that we're maintaining, because some of those branches are hanging out into the drive, and if they break, then they're going to be in the way. So we need to make sure that we keep maintenance on that. It's been a handful of years. Another thing with facilities, we have been partnering with SEC Safety Team. They've done different studies and assessments in all of our buildings. We won an award this past month just with how great we have done on implementation of our safety strategies. With that, though, they did assessments of our athletic fields and athletic facilities, and so now we're taking the safety team through all those suggestions to see what we can quickly implement, and then what we need to start planning and investing in to make sure that we're really having safety in mind when it comes to athletic and sporting events, because we don't have a ton of plans for those all the time. Any questions with that one? No? Okay. For instance, who are your safety people at the game if it's not your SRO? Oh, it's Lindsay's got a yellow vest on. She's that person. The yellow vest did not go over well with the safety team, but we'll talk about that. Athletics, I remember we had one in September. I can't remember those details from back then, but athletics this past couple weeks, we had Laura, Gary, Decker, my son, and I worked the JV football game. We had a good time in there. Gary was wheeling and dealing the cookies. It was
Thank you guys all for doing that.
Yeah, I think it's been really good for the community to see us coming together and doing that. So I'm looking forward to us doing that again for winter sports and spring sports. Just a few other things you can read there, but we've got the walkathon coming up, AFCAC supporting that, Spirit Halloween, just to keep the kids, engaged and motivated each day in the late days of October. 8th grade boys are undefeated. Whoop, whoop. Thanks, Shoot, for sending us updates on that. Middle school volleyball won a tournament over at Portage Central. There were 8 teams in that, so that's kind of fun that, they took the winnings on that. We've got girls basketball starting. We've got Rising Stars, which is 18 girls, and then probably about 30 girls between grades 1st through 4th. They're participating in that. And middle school boys basketball is 18 kids per grade level. And there's an alumni basketball game coming up on November 21st. Been all sports related, but fun things that are happening. So we have a band concert next Tuesday,
Wednesday.
28th.
Wednesday night?
28th.
Yeah.
28th.
And they got division.
Whatever day that is.
Middle school. It's middle school.
Chronic absence and tardy entry. Hillary?
Hillary
and
and Jeff.
Come on up, Mr.
Jeff,
Russell.
come with her.
He was threatening that he wasn't going
You can
to.
give Mr. Russell
can
the
grab
mic.
your
I
chair.
can't hear him.
We have some handouts too. Yeah.
Can I sit on the floor?
You can sit.
So Hillary and Jeff are,
Yes.
they really help lead attendance initiatives in the district. They make, she'll probably go over that once you're done here.
What? Are we good? Okay. So I'm Hillary Diebold. I work for Eastern Service Area. So I have 5 school districts that I work for on the east side of the county, but housed here inside Galesburg-Augusta High School, and have worked with Jeff Russell for over three and a half years, I think.
4,
Yeah. On chronic absenteeism at the primary specifically, but then he does help in the other buildings when necessary and in the summer when we're hitting the road. So Lindsay asked me to do an update for the past couple of years because I did not come to this last year. So we just wanted to kind of share where we're at currently. We had started some new initiatives this year. We really wanted to target our kindergartners because we noticed that there's a lot of shift from them coming from daycare, if they're not already like in Young Fives or GSRP or anything, into kindergarten, being there all day, and it's kind of taxing, and I don't think parents see it quite the same as they would have seen it as daycare. So really focusing on them and pushing on them and making sure we're connecting with the parents. So Sean let me come to orientation, and I was able to share just some stats around attendance and the importance of being there every day, and kind of when we don't come to school, who we contact and what that looks like and how long we should be out and stuff. So try to get that information out there, as well as like with conferences just recently, connecting with the teachers and making sure that they felt comfortable having those conversations with parents around any of the kindergartners that were kind of below that 90% of attendance mark, and making sure we're sharing extra resources with them. So we've really been pushing on the kindergartners this year. Last year, what? Go ahead.
We did provide all the kindergarten teachers with every student's absences for their conference and the percentage that they've missed, because we've got a lot of waivers this year. We've got more waivers than we've ever had, and we really can't hold their feet to the fire until they're 6 years old. So we've got to try and get their attendance up when they're young.
So for the waivers, you mean like people that are not
Under 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we start early, which is what we're thinking, because we've got 19 kindergartners right now that we are targeting to get their attendance up, we thought maybe that would carry over into the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades.
Yep. So that's our focus right now at the primary for sure. I did do a presentation at the back to school breakfast last fall of 2024, to really push on tier 1 for our teachers support and get teachers and paras and everybody else involved in having those attendance conversations, because we have teams in every building that really focuses on tier 2 and tier 3, but trying to do as much tier 1 as possible and kind of changing that culture to be more attendance focused. And I feel like that was really impactful. We tried some other things this year. We were doing supports and strategies for the classroom. So we were just at the primary at a staff meeting and had a slide deck with different ideas for teachers. We had that at Ram Camp as well.
Yep.
We've created mini flex attendance lessons for teachers to use during the school week, just to go over different things with kiddos, trying to tee it up as much as possible, take it off the teachers' hands, and make it as simple as for them as possible. We've got 3 attendance challenges running this fall. We started them last year. They're themed here this year. So we've got fall into regular attendance, and we're trying to educate parents that 5%, missing no more than 5% of the school year is considered regular attendance, which shakes out to about 9 school days. So we are using that. We've got a little picture there of each teacher has their own tree, and they have 6 leaves on each of their trees. And every time they meet their attendance goal for the week, the kids get to move a leaf. And then when they have 3 leaves moved, they get a reward. And then 6 leaves, they get a reward. So we did that last year, and it went over really well. And some of the kids' parents were reporting that they had gone to like a doctor's appointment, and the parent was like, do you want to go home or do you want to go back to school? And they're like, we got to go back to school. We got to put that pedal on, because they were flowers last year. So, yeah, so it really did drum up. And you said they were kind of excited because it just kicked off.
They were kind of excited last year because it was brand new, and it was something they all thought it was a classroom versus classroom thing, but it's just individuals, and they were all excited to come back to school. So it worked out really well.
But today they liked it?
They loved it today.
Okay. And then... yeah, the middle school, we did a grade percentage challenge, and the 6th graders won with 97.5%. The high school attendance challenge is going on right now. They do it for a month, and then they get their reward right around Halloween, which is fitting for that. So those are and we kind of have them run at different times too, just in case we have siblings. Then we can kind of capture them all, because if you're getting the primary kiddo, then hopefully the high school one's coming in too. We did lose, obviously, or we are in the process of losing Jill Zontz, just because her position is no longer funded. So I don't know what her timeline is. I don't think she's allowed to share it yet, but that'll be a huge loss for our team, because she does come to all the different buildings with me and has been a partner for a while. So that'll be a loss. Just some different data points. Right now for our district, we're at 17.5% for students that are chronically absent. So we've been in school 55 days. So that's kids that have missed over 5 days of school, essentially. This is just like building, like we brought the parent into the table. And we have quite a few more coming up. Those have been super successful. We brought them to Lindsay's table, a handful of them, and that's been really successful. Unfortunately, our data for last year doesn't look so hot by comparison to the year before. We had really done some moving and some decreasing, especially at the high school level. This is pulled off of my school data, and I don't know why the alternative program wasn't reported before, or why it's not included in the information for 23, 24, and 22, 23. So I don't know if that's impacting our overall data too, because obviously an adult ed or alternative learning is going to have less attendance engagement. Yep. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Just plugging along.
I mean, you guys have been super helpful for just keeping things leveraged as a principal, and you guys kind of leading every 2 weeks, helping it just stay leveraged. That would be a meeting that would sometimes get pushed away, but when you have teammates holding you accountable, it's phenomenal. Providing district level letters to, hey, Lindsay, send this out.
Yep.
Just as a reminder, breaks coming up. You need to be here on the half day. Your team has been great, guys. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So in that, it's like certain that they cut all the state or federal government cut all the positions of the
I'm not. That's what I'm. Okay, I guess I should say rumors. In my different districts, so like in Comstock, that's kind of the like that one is no longer attending our meetings at the middle school. The elementary staff is still showing up, but it was kind of like, but don't expect. I mean, I think it was not.
They're trying to maintain it through the end of this year. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I don't. I would be shocked if they did, just from what I've been hearing. But yeah, just the rumors. So unfortunately, but she's taught us a lot, and hopefully, she said we can always call her.
That's right.
So
She said we can always call her.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Next up, we have community input on agenda items only. moving on then, we have business items for discussion, middle school baseball, or decision. Discussion. Yeah, we have no decision, but we did. Middle school baseball proposal.
So you guys had this for a couple months in front of us. The biggest amount of the fee goes to coaching and paying our umpires. The rest of it is going to be renting fields or trying to get creative with what we have. Until we dig into the schedule, we won't know how much we'll have to rent out, but we do have a ballpark estimate of what that is. You guys can get that. All right, gotta be a baseball player, I guess. But renting out the fields would be, what is it on here? Field maintenance, $500. Just really trying to rent out River Oaks or any of the fields here. So, any questions with that? Just trying to make it equitable. We have the softball already. It's proven to help have grown our varsity and JV program. So we need the same for.
I guess I do have a question.
feeding program.
Are we sure if we have to rent like River Oaks? Because I forgot what he said that's all factored in there. Because that just seems really low.
It was so
It was
many
like $75
dollars
so.
per time.
He actually went through and figured out which days there were conflicts. Like that, he assumed there would be conflicts based on talking through what it would have been prior to, so that they don't think they're going to have conflicts every week or every game or practice. That's why it's low. But it was only it was a fairly reasonable.
30 some odd, or 50, it was less than $50 each
Yeah,
time.
I think it was 30 to be truthful.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
It was
that-
30 some odd dollars. I felt. Plus busing was the only question mark.
Yeah,
Talking.
busing. Okay.
Well, and parents might have to help out with.
Right. No, I mean I love it. I'm just making sure
Yeah.
like we got. Yeah.
Some extra,
You want to approve for the
but
five?
to have
Just
an
wanna just
extra thing available for our students would be amazing. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
All right, next up we have rescind policy 226.
Bond underwriter.
I crossed that off. Bond underwriter.
Yep. Philip, do you want to discuss the bond underwriter real quick? You do a better job than I do.
Happy to do that.
Probably have more questions after I go.
One of the components of the bond sale, assuming voters approve the sale of bonds at the November election, one of the components of that sale will be deciding the method of sale. And we have essentially two options. We have a competitive bid, it's called a competitive bid, or a negotiated sale. Competitive bid is kind of obvious. It's the school district using our bond consultant, PFM, will put out the parameters of the bond, the dollar amount, that kind of thing, and underwriting firms will bid on the purchase of that and then ultimately sell it to bond holders. So their bids will include interest rates, and the bidder with the lowest net interest cost will be the underwriter that is awarded the project. So that's competitive bid. Negotiated means that our bond consultant, PFM, will select a handful of underwriters, ultimately narrow that list down to one underwriter that they feel comfortable working with, and negotiate the terms of the sale, including interest rate, timing of sale, some other details. And so it's not, you can't just assume that competitive bid method is always going to result in the best approach for the school district, nor the cheapest cost. In the school district has done it both ways over the years. Probably most recently, I think the last couple of sales have been a competitive bid approach. PFM is suggesting this time that we consider the negotiated sale for a couple of reasons. One is that a refunding or a refinancing of previous bond issuance would most likely be woven into the sale of the new bonds. And again, assuming that voters approve that. And so there's some economies of scale when we have a refunding with a new money proposal. The flexibility that a negotiated sale offers up versus a competitive sale, they think that this is a good time for that, adding that flexibility in terms of sale dates and that kind of thing. We don't need to make a decision right now. We can ultimately, again, assuming the bonds are approved by the voters, a resolution would come before the board to actually move forward with the sale. Within that resolution would be the method of sale. So we do have a little bit of time.
Well, when would you recommend?
Well, RJ, our consultant, he recommends shortly before or shortly after the sale. So by shortly, probably within a month after the sale. So we may want to think about, again, assuming it's approved by voters early November, perhaps at the November meeting.
When you said that he recommends, do you also recommend doing, I know the one was called
Negotiated.
Negotiated.
Yeah, I mean, based on everything I've read, I don't see any reason to doubt him. I kind of defer. I'm not a bond, financing expert, so we rely on them to have the best interests of which they are legally obligated to have the best interests of the district in mind when they make their decisions. We've been working with PFM for probably decades, so I trust them to know what they're doing and to make a good recommendation.
So we just spoke about this at our finance meeting, and it made more clear sense to me why that might make more sense to go that route. Now, if we are approved and we're able to do what the district needs with our funds, if it's negotiated, that's where he's saying he can pull in that other loan we have, and that if it was not negotiated, you can't bring that together.
Okay.
So that's where I would save more money if we bring those together, and you can be like, here's a bundle package. What is your best deal? We can save taxpayers money and interest and everything else too to make more bang for our buck. So that makes more sense to me now.
Thanks for that point.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
We're going to vote on. I just saw this letter in the packet from Bob Naughton, but I haven't had time to
We're not
actually
voting
read
on
it.
that
Digest.
tonight.
Are we voting on?
Not tonight.
Oh, okay.
We're going to wait till after November 4th, and then we're going to see where our refunding numbers fall, and then we'll get advice from
Yeah, because
PFM
I'd like to
then.
take a little more in-depth
Yep,
look at
absolutely.
that. Okay, good.
Beautiful.
Okay. Rescinding policy 2264.
So we actually have two Title IX policies at this point. There's been some change due to administration with the Title IX policy, so we are rescinding 2264, which is no longer compliant with the law. So that will be under decision, and we've got a number of other ones to do some first reading.
Okay. First reading of. Do you want me to read all of these?
Oh.
Okay. First reading of policies listed on the agenda.
There we go.
Good job.
So I went through, and some of the ones that we need to discuss, I'll flip us to. I don't know if you guys printed out your policies or not. Excuse me?
I read all
They're
of them.
She's a rock star. She got them for us.
Yeah,
A lot of it's grammatical.
A lot of it is a lot of revisions. There are a few I want to bring us to attention to so that we have to make some discussion on. If we go to page 62 in our packet, if you don't have it printed, that's okay.
printed, but
Which is number, how far?
It's the second packet, second page.
Thank you.
Should get this big one here.
On the emails, anyways. Sorry.
Fine, pull them all out.
I'm looking at the emails.
It's all right. I can pull them. I have all my notes here anyway.
Should
so
pull it up to you. Look at this beautiful.
So it is discussion on whether we want to have for new construction. It has us make an option or a choice on. Currently, the board may consider and provide a preference to bidders, which use a Michigan-based business as a primary contractor.
Oh, yeah.
What's the PO number on that one? I have my notes by PO number.
6321.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
Yep.
So we need to decide whether we want that option or not, or not click it. So do we want the board to consider the preference of bidders to be a Michigan-based business?
So can I? So I know at our discussion we had previously, I'm all about Michigan businesses, and I love the idea of staying local. My concern is they said some of our contractors that'll dabble with both are not potentially going to, because we're so close to the state lines, that it might not be as appealing to come work with us if they are utilizing other contractors or subcontractors with them as well. So that was my only concern with only doing Michigan-based, because we are so close to the state
It
line.
says may.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Yeah.
Correct, but it can deter them, he said, either way,
Okay.
is what he said during the meeting.
So we don't have to choose that.
Correct. We don't have to choose it either way, and even if you choose it, you still don't have to. But it could deter people that utilize subcontractors that are out of state.
Like, how would that affect what we just did with the Turk? Because that was from, I don't know, wasn't that California or something?
Probably.
Well, you can still use them, but to her point, it might have deterred other people from
To
making
put a
it
bid
big.
in, because they're like, I utilize other people and I don't want to have to get it past secondary.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is everybody
So that's my only concern.
Okay.
Any additional
is
discussion?
everybody okay with not adding that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And then if you go to policy 6350, which is page 65, just kidding, I just did that one. Page 73, which is 8800. The addition here is to add moments of silence. The policy is about religious and patriotic ceremonies and observances. So the addition in this policy would be to add moments of silence in there. There's no harm in that. That's something sometimes we do practice. September 11th, for example. So does anybody have an issue with adding that in there?
I have no
Accepting that?
objections.
I liked adding it in there because then it kind of reminds people that you can take that opportunity.
Okay, we're adopting that one. A lot of the 39.1 were revisions to adopt. If you go to page 87, which is policy 4430,
What page?
87, 4430. That was around the ESTA, so the paid sick time bank or leave, not bank, I keep saying that. Jane helped me on this one and was working with Chris Rice. I'm not sure if we've heard back from Chris Rice yet, but Earned Sick Time Act, we want to make sure that it says in there that it's PTO, not personal days or sick time. We just want it to be lumped in as PTO.
It should all be
So we're
in
we're asking if we can have that language, so I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay.
But that's.
There are some other choices I think we had to make on that, whether it's accrual, the 1 hour increment. There was a lot of options on that one that I
We're waiting on Chris Rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking it. I just want to make sure I'm checking off my list as we go.
Nope, I appreciate it. For page 93 is policy 5330. The options there were to allow students to have medication on them and carry it with them versus having a doctor's note signed by parent in the office. I know we had a little bit of discussion at the policy meeting. My recommendation is that we keep it in the school office.
I agree. Agreed.
Page 103 to 112. What is this? Is policy. That's the food services policy. I printed off the one that we already had and gave to David to get feedback. And when I looked at this after I logged in, it was the revised one that I needed to get David. So he needs to go through these. I went through and it was good practice for me to be able to go through and pick which ones I think would match the district. But I want to now partner with David to find out which ones on that.
Beautiful.
So I'll get you those in a weekly update. And then page 143. I'd like to adopt this one. This is for additional funding around FAFSA. We do fill this out. Bethany Stanton, I confirmed with her. So if we can adopt this and
Yes. I have no objective.
okay.
No objection.
Page 148 is policy 5517.01. Bullying and aggressive behavior towards students. I have to ask Chris Rice on this one unless somebody else read it differently, but on page 148 under prevention and training and restorative practices, there used to be an or there, something to check, but now that's crossed out. So I want to make sure that I'm not supposed to select something and we just adopt the whole policy. Otherwise, it's a big deal on which one we pick.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of like, can we have both?
What's that?
I was kind of when I read it the first time, like, can we have both?
That's my question. That's my exact question.
Right, because I'm
Can
like,
we have
I
both?
want both of those.
I completely agree. So if you guys will make a note to look at 5517.01, I'll also put it in the weekly update, but look at what you would look at for option 1 or 2 on page 158 of that policy. 5517.01. Again, I'll put it in the weekly update. And then page 155, Amber, thank you for page numbers, is policy 7540.02. I'd like to select under regular audit. So this talks about web content and accessibility. Is this a new one? Let me look real quick. What number is it, guys? 7540.
102. Digital contact and accessibility.
This is a revised one, so adopt as recommended by SETSEG is it's got a bunch of revisions in it, but then we have to pick, like, how many days do we do this ADA accommodation regarding these things? We have to put a number in there. I put 30 days. We would do it to the best interest of the person, but the next one would be regular audits. How often? I put at least annually.
I agree with that.
And then option 2, if if problems are identified in the audit, then they're documented versus documenting every time you do the audit. So again, I'll put that. We can adopt that one. Are we good with that one? You're in support.
I had 15 days, and you're better than I am.
I just put 30.
I wasn't sure. I figured it was something we'd talk about.
It's safe to do 30, especially like if you have a holiday or something.
So those are the big things that stuck out to me as I was going through these policies.
I had a couple of questions on some of these.
Yep, go ahead.
So I know on like 6350, there's a couple options, and there's some places where it says that we're supposed to choose either superintendent or board for the language.
I picked superintendent. Sorry, I did write that down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just making.
Yep.
And then the other two, sorry, 8640. The whole thing was crossed out. Are we rescinding that one too?
I don't know which one is it.
I don't know, PO 8640. I can't get my pages to load up for me, so I can't help you there.
8640.
Probably first section towards the end.
8640.
Yeah. Unless I got ahead of myself.
8640 operations. Rescind field trip transportation. It's combined with 2340.
Okay.
Yes,
Just double checking that was a
one.
rescind.
Is that on this list, Amber? Yeah, it must be.
Oh, and I think on 5350, I was just curious as to why that language was coming out. So I just wasn't sure.
Say it again.
On
5350, the top one.
there's a whole section of language coming out. And I know that when he was with us, he explained some of these, and I don't remember there being an explanation on that.
A lot of them is to be compliant with the law.
Okay.
So
That was just a clarification for me.
yeah,
That's all that
if you
was.
want to send me an email to get more details on that, I can follow up with Chris. But when I
Just-
see compliant with the law, I say yes.
Right, yeah, like you said, the rest of it's a lot of it's just, language stuff and things like that. So I was just.
So it sounds like if somebody can circle these, we're not ready for these yet. Well, we're not ready for all of them to make a decision on. So I
No.
guess it doesn't matter. I'll just put those in the update.
But yeah, you're going to get us more information on 4430 from Chris. 5517.01. Those are the ones that you needed more information from Chris
And
on.
also 8500, which is the food services.
Oh, yeah,
You're
8550.
ready to read.
Yeah, that's the one with the milk and all that stuff, right? Yeah. I think we should definitely have a longer conversation about some of that. All right.
Thank you guys for reading through them.
That was my weekend, painting and reading policies.
Okay, next up we have communications, public participant. Does anybody want to come forward? Okay. We're going to go into closed session. So we'll go into closed session at 6:45.
Entertain. I'll provide a motion to approve the proposal to establish a middle school baseball program as presented.
I'll support. Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote, please.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Shute,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have rescind policy 2264. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to rescind board policy PO 2264.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Gillette,
Yes.
Horsey,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Meltzer,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have communication board comments. Keep in mind, we're already 5 minutes past Nate's time limit.
Well, let's talk slow then,
Sarah.
everyone.
And go.
Looking forward to the conference coming up. I got a lot going on in my life, so I'm not really busy, but I was really excited. I don't know if anyone else gets the leadership magazine from SBA. Great little 2-page spread on the Kalamazoo Career Connect Center, so that was exciting to see. Like, yay, look at that. So I was excited for that. That's all I got. About to do 4 days in one. So, carry on.
Yeah, nothing.
Nathan, you got anything?
I feel like I had a lot of stuff.
He's ready to go now.
No, it was really great for me the other night. I heard some craziness out in my backyard and saw flames and awfulness and
Fireworks.
quick hurried up and hit up the superintendent, and there was an immediate response with the superintendent, not only knowing exactly what was going on, reassuring me that everything was fine, and also having a photo with the kids, just making sure that she's there taking care of stuff. So it's just something that I don't think this district has had in a long time, and that meant a lot. It was really cool. And so we stood on the hill and watched you guys and waved for a little bit.
You sent me a really cool picture. I'll put it in the weekly update. That's fun.
It was just really neat to have that immediate response, and then also see the engagement too, and that the kids are engaged right back. So pretty cool.
Lori?
Lots of exciting new things. I'm very excited about these new electives for the middle school. It's going to be quick, but my middle man is in drama, and they get to put on 2 performances to make sure that all the grades can come through.
Make sure that we get invited to that.
Yes. They said they're supposed to. And then he's excited he got the role he wanted to be. He's to be the mayor from the Nightmare Before Christmas. So very excited.
Very fun.
Keep us in touch on those.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They're excited.
I'm going to talk football. So Friday is a really big game for the Rams. If we win on Friday, we're probably, I think we're pretty much guaranteed to be in the playoffs.
Oh, wow. That's got to be the first time in a very long
20-some
time.
years.
Whoop, whoop.
We should already be in. I won't get into that.
It makes it hurt even more, doesn't it?
I'm still bitter. So
Not
bitter.
at all. This is still a show.
So bitter. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for these guys. And I don't know. I'll probably cry. So it's okay.
Yeah, you probably will. Lori and I went to the countywide dinner at the Career Connect Center. I am so glad that I went. It was where the realtor comes and he presents like all of the new real estate that's going on, all the businesses that are coming. There's so much information in his presentation. And then I did reach out to him about hopefully we can partner with him to help develop some of our vacant land in our district. And we met a few new friends. I think it's just good to keep Galesburg-Augusta engaged and our names out there.
Great. I was able to take Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday off and was untouched. It was awesome. Sean really stepped up. Thank you. Filled me in this morning. Just communication out there. It was amazing to be able to step back and know that it was taken care of, and then even more validating on Monday morning to know that it was really taken care of.
Sean called me and he's like, I do not want to do serve Wednesday. And I said, thank you so much.
Miranda was the only one that called me. I said, call Sean.
I remember to text him. I'm good.
So thank you guys for that. I really appreciate that.
Glad you did that. I was talking to her at the village meeting. I'm like, take a day.
I said, dude.
Okay, let's adjourn this meeting at 7:09.
Yay.